Hi everybody, Ash here, and today we're going to be looking at another dungeon that's going to be in the Season 1 rotation of Midnight. We are looking at Seat of the Triumvirate. This is from Legion. Depending on how they do it, they might have a portal room that'll bring you right to it, just like they've done in the past. But if you don't know how to get here, you take the little teleporter up to the ship, and there will be a flight point you can take to from there. It'll put you right outside the dungeon. This dungeon is very fun, but it can be daunting for a lot of new players. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go over the mechanics of each and every boss and what you can do and tips and tricks. So the Seat of the Triumvirate is a 4-boss encounter, starting you with the very first boss at the very beginning of the dungeon. So that guy floating in the bubble is your very first boss, and the trash around him, once it dies, he becomes active. So this is like that boss in Algathar's Academy. You kind of want to make sure you know what you're doing before you pull. So Zeraldo the Ascended is a very unique boss. He can be deadly, but he doesn't have many abilities to really watch out for. So he sends a wave of energy in front of him, and it deals a lot of damage to anyone in its path. Just avoid it. His null palm, get away. Decimate infuses his fists with powerful damage. Tanks need to have a cooldown, and healers be ready for this. Void Surge also seeps into the target, doing a damage over time effect, so it's kind of a really big thing to watch out for. And then his Coalesced Void, the longer he stands still, he's going to drop these puddles on the ground, and they're going to grow. And as they grow, they do more damage, and you have to kite him around the room. You're going to notice that arena that you're fighting him in is very limited for space, so you have to be careful when fighting him. But yeah, so first off, let's go ahead and get through the trash. And I'll show you the boss. It's always best to kind of clear these over here, because you don't want anything to come in during the fight. You just saw right there, they kind of explode when they die. So I tend to clear as much as I can. The boss has now come active, and I'm going to kill these two. I'm going to move over here so they don't blow up on me. So, here we go with the boss. See, he's going to do his first null palm in about 5 seconds.
Shockwave.
And this is that big shockwave. You don't want to get hit by it. It does 3 ticks right away. And this is his Decimate. This is what leaves the puddle on the ground. You want to get out of that, and you want to kind of stay on the edge of one that was just dropped. And that's basically the fight in a nutshell. You want to kite around the room, starting on the edges, and going in a either clockwise or counterclockwise pattern. But always make sure you kill everything around the area so you have the room. Once this boss is dead, you can then move on to the next one. So you're going to follow Illyria and Locust Walker, which are from, which are from the current expansion, War Within. They're the story characters. So this, depending if they fix this or not, this is a really huge waste of time, as it's an RP event. So you basically have to get in here, and they have their conversation, and Illyria opens the door.
The Shadow Guard is building up its presence near the temple.
Disrupting their efforts would benefit us all. Also, their commander here has a particular item that would be useful to me.
Just give the word, heroes, and we can begin the assault. Farewell. It is a good day for a hunt. Figure out their motives and put a stop to their efforts.
So now that you have access to the next part of the dungeon, this is how you activate the second boss. You just jump down this path, and you have to go around the particular dungeon. In order to activate Sapirish, you have to clear all the little guys, the Rift Wardens, and these portals. They're located around the room. This is your first one. Now, again, same thing. These ads, when they die, they explode. And you can see how he's talking every time we destroy one. Once you kill the first one, turn to your right, because there's one down here. You can have your tank gather up all of this if you want, but you have to be very careful, because when these ads die, they explode. So you want to pay attention so you're not just standing still right afterwards. See? Big explosions? Also, sometimes meteors fall in and you get these little ads that spawn. Just be careful. Oh, there's also invisible guys as well. I forgot about that. Then you come over here. Again, clear the area and you kill the... Oh, the rare's in here. So what happened here was the portal got taken away and the rare spawned. So the rare will now act as the particular rift. Right again. I should loot him. You're going to encounter some mobs you cannot get past without fighting. So I tend to cut across against the grass, and I have a little guy after me. One of the little meteors. They will aggro spawn on you no matter where they spawn. So, following this pathway, not taking the staircase, you're going to clear out a lot of these guys. And for the reason being is there's a... I'm getting attacked by little shadow guys. Try to make up your percentage as best as possible because you're looking for the rift portal, which is right here. So this is the boss. This is Saperish. He is a hunter. He has a pet with him, this little Shadewing guy. So his abilities are not that bad. He basically has a very powerful melee attack. And he dashes through enemies, so be careful of this. And inflicts a lot of damage as he's dashing around the room. Void Trap. This is a very self-explanatory ability. Just avoid the trap. It's in the name. Void Trap. Overload Trap is another trap he sets down. These again do a lot more damage. And they will explode and hurt everyone around you. So again, please be patient and look around the room where traps are at. You kind of want to stay stacked so you can minimize how much room you're losing. Umbral Flanking is basically just another additional attack where he marks a player, and after a short time, he just dashes in between them. You see these mechanics in other boss fights in the War Within, so this is just a cool version where he just dashes around. However, the more dangerous mob in this fight is the Dark Fang. His beast Dark Fang, which is a little guy right there, has Ravishing Darkness. It teleports to a player and executes a series of attacks over 6 seconds. These do a lot of damage really fast. And any player hit by this, take a stack of Hunter's Rush. Which again, remember, you take extra damage, 2.1 million per tick. So it really hurts. Shadewing, on the other hand, has Swoop. It does a good amount of damage to all enemies near it, but the dangerous ability is Dread Screech. This is a disorient effect, not a fear, not a stun. This is a disorient effect. If this gets off, you are incapacitated. You can't do anything, and tanks lose aggro during disorient. He will go around, and regardless if you have threat or not as a tank, he will bash your other teammates down. Always target Shadewing first and keep him interrupted. Also, you want to clear around the room to make sure you have enough room to fight, which is self-explanatory. So, for the interest of this, I'm actually going to take off one of my trinkets that are doing damage, so that way we can kind of see the fight a little bit more.
Watch your step. Interrupt.
See, Dread Screech just went off, and I'm disoriented. I can't do anything but bubble. And I just got hit with all these abilities. So this, basically letting one of those get off is bad.
Spread. Interrupt. Watch your step.
Now, I'm sorry you didn't get to see the traps, because everything takes... Oh, I just stepped in traps. So these are the traps right here. And I'm stunned, so you have to be careful for these traps.
Yes,
Okay, directly from that second boss, you're going to encounter the third boss along the pathway. This boss is quite difficult. This is Viceroy Nazar, and he has some unique abilities that can really put you on tilt if you're not very careful. For instance, his Dark Blast ability hits a single person for a lot of damage. You must be aware of this and pop extra defensives or interrupt. Umbral Tentacles just summons 4 Tentacle Lashers, which cast Void Lashes at random targets. So these basically, as they enter, they do a big hit of damage on the ground, so just walk away from them. And then Void Lash basically is a damage over time, but also reduces your healing taken. These have to be destroyed before they get too many stacks off, or your healer will not be able to heal you. So you have to be careful of that. During the fight, the Viceroy will do a Tropic Force, which Void Winds will, pull from him, inflicting damage to everybody in the raid and pushing you away. Be careful, because if you get pushed into anything such as extra mobs around the room or into something you didn't want to, you have to, compensate. Howling Dark is an ability that is a fear effect that must be interrupted. So just like the second boss, Viceroy also has a fear mechanic, but he's the one casting it. There's also the ability Insanity, which is only on the Mythic difficulty. During this fight, when he reaches 100 energy, he is going to summon 2 different adds. The Vanguard Void Tender and the Eternal Twilight. These mobs have abilities such as Dark Bulwark, which will buff the boss and make him immune to damage until it dies. And then Eternal Twilight happens when he reaches his maximum energy and he blows up for 150 million shadow damage to everybody in the group. So this is something you have to watch out for. This is a wipe incoming. At the start of the fight, there will be rings of void energy coalescing around Viceroy, which collapse inward. Standing in these void energies affects the target with crushing or collapsing void. This is another watch out, or you're going to take a lot of damage every second. Combining that with either the Howling Dark or the Dark Blast, anything like that, as you're running around this room, trying to avoid stuff, it is a lot of stuff on the ground to be mindful of. Also, this room, once you jump down, you cannot get out of here. So I recommend when you jump down is start clearing the trash and staying out of the center of the room, because you want to try to have as much room as possible to kite. Also right there, that was a Void Tendril. I'm also going to get these guys over here, so just to be safe.
Interrupt.
Okay, let's pull the boss.
I shall bring you to your twilight.
So that's the Dark Blast hitting. And this ring will coalesce as the fight keeps going. So Dark Blast has to be interrupted. Here are the adds. So you got to kill these tendrils as fast as possible. And I killed the boss by accident. So the next boss is Allura. She is a Naru. And she has some very interesting abilities. And these are kind of... I don't like this boss in terms of one mechanic. So obviously during the fight, she is going to lash out and call for enemies in the void to come help her. These spawn on either side of the room in her little arena area. She also has her Lament, where she inflicts damage to all players every 3 seconds. Additionally, she'll cast Grounding Darkness every 2. This will gain her energy and increasing the damage done by 1% for every 2 seconds. This affects stacks. The longer Lament is up, the more stronger it's going to hit, and it's going to do a lot more damage. Void Blast, again, is another, big void of energy that targets a single player, and it will just try to blow them up. And it also hits around an additional, 300,000. Again, these are subject to change because of the stat squish. Final Dirge, this is Once she's been severed from all available portals in the room, because if you kill mobs, that's how the portals close, she enters the fight, becoming mobile and capable of attacking players. So she'll channel Naru's Lament and cast Void Blasts. And she also gains the ability Umbral Cadence. So Umbral Cadence basically is all her pent up energy is released, and she's doing a lot of damage to you as the fight continues when she's in this phase. Grand Shift is when she calls out for any enemies, they jump into the fight, and they inflict 1.8 million shadow damage to all players at the point of impact, knocking them away. So be careful of these grand shifts. So we're now going to explain what the rifts do. So every rift will summon a warden. These wardens all have different abilities. So as you see here, one can bind the caster to the portal, summoning it. So once you destroy him, you close the portal. This is a must-kill mob. Fragments of Despair, again, is a large aerial damage effect in one area. Just be careful. Don't stand in it. And if no player is hit by this, however, it'll do a huge damaging boost. I'll redo that. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the rifts in the fight. There are 2 portals on either side of the boss room, and they summon a Rift Warden. The Rift Wardens are connected to this via a Void Bound ability. Killing them closes the portal. However, there are some very nasty abilities they have. So for instance, Fragment of Despair is a massive AoE bolt that hits the ground. If no player soaks this, everyone takes a lot of damage and can be called an insta-wipe. It is highly, highly recommended you at least have 2 or 3 people soak this to split the damage, or try to get everybody in at the same time. Because during the fight, you can only tank the adds when the boss's shield is up. She's not tankable or attackable at that moment. The Waning Void, the little small guys, when they come out, they just leave little essences that deal damage every 1 second. So again, these guys are more easier to take care of than the Void Wardens. During the fight, Illyria will be helping you with attacking some of the enemies. She'll be the one who drains the protective portals of energy, severing the connection to the Naru and closing it permanently. So as you're doing all this, Illyria in the background is helping you push the phase and get to the next boss part. Alright, there's a little cut there because there is some RP between the Lotus Walker and Illyria talking about the boss, sorry. So let's go ahead and pull and we'll go from there. So as you can see, she's going to do Call to the Void, which puts her in her shield, and she's going to summon these mobs. As she's going on, you can hear her casting Lament in the background. It is slowly stacking and is going to get stronger and stronger as she hits people with those little bolts. So as you can see back here, this is the blast you have to stack in, or you take a ton of damage to the party. Killing these adds will then have Illyria come over and help you do that. So she's summoning the portal once the Rift Warden dies. But more adds will spawn during the fight. And now she's attackable, so you can now hit her. Now I'm going to wait a second to finish her off because Backlash, all of that... Oh. Well, I didn't expect that to happen, but it happened. So that's the Triumvirate. It's a very unique dungeon with a very, very large room. Unlike other dungeons, it is a big arena. And you can basically go the way you want, but I always recommend doing them in order because it's going to be very more beneficial to go as a team in the same direction every time than trying to come up with more different ways of pulling trash and things like that. But again, this is all up to you. You can change the routes if you like. You can fight in any order you like. And depending on the stat squishes and things like that, you know, things can change. I'm not the authority. I'm just here to help. And as always, I do thank you for watching this video, and I hope it did help. And as always, rest well when you do. Happy hunting, and Warcrafters up.